guys, I got Mr. Buka. Why there's two different and two gems?
Yeah, that's right. Okay, cheers. Cheers. Yum time.
Thank you. Parents. Fancy cooking. Fancy cooking.
Yeah.
Fancy cooking.
Fancy cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it? Do you find it fancy? Okay, go.
Beautiful
Yeah.
and yummy.
Thank you.
Who cooked it for
I
me?
cook it. That's why it's yummy.
Bye.
What are you going to do? Sit down.
I want to.
Oh, thank you for the hug.
What?
Thank you for the hug.
I don't need to. I'll just. The blue story is yours, and the orange story is mine. So your story is from.
Alright. Am I going to choose?
Yeah, this is your story. And if it's my story, I'll get to choose.
Alright. This is. This one, Made in Magic. What? 5 minutes Marvel stories. This is also 5 minutes Avengers stories. Avengers story. You go Marvel. But this one also. What's the difference? It's Spider-Man, Marvel. Nico, also Marvel, right?
Avengers.
Yeah, it's Avengers. Go ahead, Marvel story. Also Marvel. Okay, shall we read?
Yeah.
Made in Magic and can we say hello first to everyone there? Hi everyone, we're going to read about this. I'm going to choose a story for that one. The title is Made in Magic from 5 Minute Marvel Stories.
For 100 Marvel
Okay.
stories.
In Greenwich Village in New York City, Dr. Strange and Scarlet Witch were practicing their magic at the sanctuary. Dr. Strange. The Scarlet Witch had asked him to help her practice her spells, and her hex bolts were growing stronger and stronger. She gathered energy in her hands and Dr. Strange ducked to the side. Even with the help of his cloak of levitation, he was barely able to fly out of the way fast enough. The hex bolt exploded and his desk burst into flames. "You're getting better," Dr. Strange told her. "All that power will come in handy one of these days." "Thank you," Scarlet Witch replied, "although I think we should be done with practice for the day. Although I think we should be done with practice for the day. How about a coffee? It's on me." As they walked toward the front door, Dr. Strange silently conjured a water spell. The flame on his desk burned quickly snuffed out. "After you," he said. Did you understand? I didn't. The crystful air was the first thing Dr. Strange and Scarlet Witch noticed as they stepped outside Strange's magically protected home. The crystful air was the first thing Dr. Strange and Scarlet Witch noticed as they stepped outside Strange's magically protected home. The second thing they noticed was that every single person on the street was frozen in place. "That's not exactly what you want to see," said Dr. Strange. Scarlet Witch didn't answer. Dr. Strange looked over at his fellow Avengers. Scarlet Witch stood motionless. Her mouth hung slightly open, her eyes were wide, yet she didn't blink. It was as if she was in a trance. Suddenly, Dr. Strange felt a wave of terror rush over him. He couldn't move either. Oh, what's going on? High above New York City, thunder boomed, lightning flashed. The sky itself was tearing open to take the shape of a doorway. A picture flew through its opening. Dr. Strange recognized the figure instantly as one of his oldest foes. the ruler of the dark dimensions, one of the most powerful sorcerers to ever live, Dormammu. As soon as she set foot outside your fabled sanctuary, my spell took hold, Dormammu said. He hovered in front of Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange. You were the last two on this planet to fall under the sway of my memory spell. Doctor Strange was not listening to the words of his old enemy. Dormammu's spell had taken hold of him. Strange's mind was somewhere else. He was in the past, trapped in a memory. It was years ago, back when Doctor Strange was a successful surgeon. All the many success and praise had gone to his head. He was selfish and thought that the rules didn't apply to him. One night, while in his car, he was driving much too fast on a road that had too many turns. Doctor Strange's car shot off the cliff. There was a crash and an explosion, and then his world went black. In his memory, Stephen Strange walked out to find that his days of being a surgeon were over. His hands had been damaged beyond repair. Oh no. After meeting a sorcerer called the Ancient One, Strange realized that the only way... But Doctor Strange refused to give up. He searched the world for a cure. What he found instead was something very different. What he discovered was quite simply magic. After meeting a sorcerer called the Ancient One, Strange realized that the only way to fix his life wasn't to fix his hands. It was his attitude that needed work. His old life was over. It was time to think about others for a change. But before he could act, before he could do anything at all, Doctor Strange was suddenly back in the hospital. He was a surgeon again. The memory spell was starting over. He was trapped in its repeating loop. Doctor Strange wasn't the only one stuck in a memory. Scarlet Witch was caught in their own spell as well. In her mind, she was back on Wanda Mountain as a little girl named Wanda Maxima. As she grew older, Wanda found she could tap into chaos magic and use powerful energy in bursts that she called Hexbolt. Likewise, her twin brother Petru discovered his own fantastic abilities. He could move at super speeds, no matter how much they wanted to have regular, ordinary lives. Wanda and Petru were destined to be different. Who are they? You know Wanda and Petru? Who are they?
Fixing was kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Believing that she could offer new good to the world, Wanda and her brother, who adopted the name Quicksilver, joined forces with a team of villains. Oh, before they were villains, when Scarlet Witch met the Avengers, she and her brother soon realized the error of their ways. The Avengers had also been gifted with special abilities, but they embraced those powers. They celebrated what made them different. She was inspired by these heroes, but before she was able to remember when she became an Avenger herself, Wanda's thoughts looked back to Wanda Mountain. She could escape the spell. Back in the real world, Dormammu was pleased. He had urged sorcerers exactly where he wanted them, and the dimensions was finally his. But Dormammu didn't realize that the hero's magical abilities were telling them that it wasn't real. Doctor Strange was remembering that he was no longer a selfish man. He was the Sorcerer Supreme. And Wanda was no longer a villain. She was an Avenger. They had changed the course of their lives for the better. They were heroes now. An explosion of white-hot magic ripped through the air and knocked Dormammu off his feet. The two heroes had managed to release themselves from the memory loop and were fighting back. Scarlet Witch fired a hex bolt at the villain before he realized that what was happening. As she pushed Dormammu back, Doctor Strange opened a portal to a prison dimension behind Dormammu. Goodbye now, Scarlet Witch said. Before Dormammu could react, she shot another fiery hex bolt at him. It was his strongest yet. The evil sorcerer was forced backward into the dimension beyond the portal. In a blinding flash of light, the portal and Dormammu vanished. All along the street, people awoke from the trance. They shook their hands and without a second thought, continued on with their day as if nothing had happened. See, told you all that power would come in handy, Dr. Strange said to the Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch laughed and then said, so, same time tomorrow? Of course, Dr. Strange replied. Let's get that coffee before practice tomorrow. Scarlet Witch looked forward to it. The end. Alright, we've read another book and it's almost same time. It's a 5-minute Avengers stories. Alright. Here, Marvel the Avengers. Calling all Avengers. There came a day when Earth's mightiest heroes needed help. That day, there were two threats at the same time. The Avengers were busy fighting the Wrecker and his wrecking crew, a superpowered group that loved destructions. Sometimes he just wanted to knock down buildings. Oh no. Meanwhile, Hydra, an evil group determined to rule the world, was setting its newest plan in motion. But with the Avengers busy battling the wrecking crew, who was going to stop Hydra? Captain America suggested calling in the new recruits. Iron Man said, we're not ready yet. Captain America thought Iron Man was wrong, but he knew the original Avengers thought less of the new Avengers just because they were new to the team. We should give them a shot, Cap said. Meet the newest member of the Avengers, Falcon, Vision, Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye, Quicksilver, and Super Spy Black Widow. Falcon had been Captain America's partner for a long time. He was really some a shield agent with a super cool flight suit that came complete with wings. He was one of the few people with the skills and strength to use the flight suit, and when he did, bad guys beware. Falcon could swoop down from the sky and stop crime. Falcon flew so fast that he could get anywhere in the city in just a few minutes.
What?
He had fought Hydra many times with Captain America, so he was a great Avenger to have a mission against that group. Always a friendly face, Falcon was often the first team member to offer a helping hand. When Captain America called about Hydra, Falcon asked only one. What was that question? You remember? When do we get started? Among the new recruits was Vision. He was an android, which is a funny way of saying he was a robot that looked human. Robots don't need the same things humans need. As a robot, Vision didn't have to eat or eat to sleep, but he did have to power up. He had many special abilities. He could control his density. That meant he could walk through walls or become as hard as a diamond. He could also shoot beams from his eyes and fly. And he was super strong. But what made him an Avenger was his heroic spirit. He was one robot with a heart. Vision was the next to receive Captain America's call about Hydra. Incoming call from Captain America, time to get the other Avengers, said Vision, ready to jump into action. At the Avengers Tower, Falcon and Vision to get Scarlet Witch. They found her floating in a ball of her own mystical energy. What are you doing? Falcon asked her. There are more threats to the world than the ones you can punch, Falcon, Scarlet Witch said. I'm fighting those threats right now. Falcon didn't understand what exactly Scarlet Witch's powers were, but he knew that she could make the impossible happen. He thought she had proved to be the most powerful Avengers of all. And since his friends were Iron Man, Hulk, and Thor, that was really saying something. It appears we're needed, Scarlet Witch said. Let's get my brother. Just as Scarlet Witch mentioned her brother, the communicator came to life with his voice. I'm on my way, Quicksilver shouted through the speaker. Quicksilver was the fastest man on the planet. He was also able to run at super speed. Just then, he was outrunning a super fast train on his way to meet his fellow Avengers.
What
Quicksilver
train or the thing?
of course, he
Of course, Quicksilver.
Quicksilver loves it. He says he was able to run at super speed. Just then, he was outrunning. That means outrunning, he was leading. He's faster than the train. He was outrunning a super fast train on his way to meet his fellow Avengers. Quicksilver also knew how talented and powerful he was. Of all the Avengers, he was the only one who most enjoyed being a celebrity. A lot of people is cheering on him.
And he runs?
Yeah. Of all the Avengers, he was the only one who most enjoyed being a celebrity. Captain America's call also came through the training room where Hawkeye was practicing his bow and arrows. Hawkeye was such good eyesight that he could see his targets from far away and then hit them. His bow had many different kinds of arrows, one that caught fire, ones that pulled things off, one with nets, and many more. While Hawkeye had no powers, he had proven that he was able to keep up with his superpowered friends just fine.
Just not fine.
Completing her training session with Hawkeye, Black Widow, and was jumping through a maze of laser beams. She was a very skilled gymnast. Look like God needs our help, Hawkeye. Black Widow finished her flips through the maze and landed ready for combat. Black Widow asked Hawkeye, do you think they're ready to accept us as Avengers? Or do they still think of us as the new members? Hawkeye knew that Black Widow felt like she wasn't really part of the team, and sometimes he felt that way too. It just takes time, Widow, Hawkeye said, hoping it would cheer her up a little. As they joined the others, she said her Widow's bike that was on stun. Those Red Supper really did pack a wallop. As soon as Avengers saw Hydra's goons, Black Widow yelled out to them, surrender now, Hydra! This is your one and only warning. The Hydra agent in charge laughed at them and said, you're not even the real Avengers. There's no way we'd surrender to you. But just because they were new to the team didn't mean they weren't as good as the original Avengers. They made sure Hydra wouldn't have the chance to underestimate them again. After wrapping up the Hydra agents, the new Avengers went to help the rest of the Avengers fight the Wrecking Crew. It turned out the original Avengers needed some extra powers. Scarlet Witch pulled out the spell of protection that saved Captain America, Thor, and Hulk. The other new Avengers took down the villains. Iron Man couldn't believe he had been wrong about his new teammates. With only the Wrecker left standing, Captain America and Quicksilver were able to take care of them together. There will be no more distractions today, Wrecker, Captain America, right? Or ever again, Quicksilver added. Ho, ho! The best of two mighty heroes were more than enough to knock out the Wrecker. While saving the city from both Hydra and the Wrecking Crew, the Avengers found that when they worked together, they could beat any foe. There came a day when the original Avengers fought side by side with the new Avengers. And on that day, it no longer mattered who was an original Avengers and who was a new recruit. From then on, they were all simply Avengers. The end. Hey, you haven't eaten, Mama.
Let me see how many. One.
Freaky Tour Day.
Two. Okay, 3 here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10?
Yeah. These are the 4, 5, 5,
Black Widow,
6,
Quicksilver,
7,
Scarlet Witch,
8,
Falcon, Captain
9,
America,
10.
Hawkeye, Hulk, Vision, Captain America, who's this?
Thor.
Thor,
4 here.
and Iron Man. I love Vision.
Good. Why? Here's already 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Thor. Alright, sick fun!
Freaky for day.
Freaky Tour Day. One morning, as the children of Hope King Elementary arrived at school, they hear the commotion of the street behind them. Thor and the Avengers had Loki cornered. Had
I
Loki
mean, that's the song.
cornered.
Let me read the other song here.
Siya, fun.
Shang-Chi.
Mia.
Shang-Chi.
Mia.
Shang-Chi of the Shadows of the Sun.
I don't know which one. Who is that? Where is he? What's the name?
Shang-Chi.
Oh, it was Shang-Chi 157. Shadows of the Sun. The sun haba shadow. Shadows of the Sun. Shang-Chi lived in Chinatown in San Francisco. He worked at Wang Bakery, which sold pineapple buns and other delicious sweet treats. People went there to see Shang-Chi's quick moves as much as they went for the food. Shang-Chi enjoyed showing off his skills at the bakery, but he kept his real talents hidden away from his day-to-day customers. In truth, Shang-Chi was much more than a part-time assistant at his bakery. Shang-Chi was a master of martial arts. When not stopping purse snatchers or having the world from supervillains, he was busy fighting a secret war that had started long ago. Shang-Chi grew up in a remote temple in China and lived far removed from the modern world. In fact, he was raised as if he were living in the ancient Qing dynasty. Modern technology was simply not the way of his father Shang-Tzu.
Shang-Tzu? Mr. Zhu?
Shang-Tzu was a cruel man. He never laughed. He barely even smiled. But nonetheless, he was respected by many people. Other lost souls followed him, embracing an era that had long passed. Shang-Tzu taught Shang-Chi and his sister Shihua ancient forms of martial arts. Both desperately wanted their father's approval, but instead they had to settle for his harsh words and constant criticism. Shang-Tzu was the head of 5 schools of fighting. The schools were spread around the world, but Shang-Tzu made sure they all met his high expectations. Each school was named after a weapon: hand, hammer, sabre, dagger, and staff. And each school had its chosen champion. In China, Shang-Chi's hard work and dedication paid off, and he became the champion of the hand. In fact, his skills and mastery of martial arts began to rival Shang-Tzu's. In Russia, Shihua studied and trained hard too. She became champion of the hammer and took on a new name to reflect her accomplishments: Sister Hammer. She was called Sister Hammer. Although those years,
Yeah. Mine.
Shang-Tzu never told Shang-Chi the world the whole truth about who he really was. One day, when Shang-Chi was supposed to be practicing, he spied on his father. He found out that his father had mastered a form of dark magic and was planning to use it to take over the world. Shang-Chi had been sheltered from the real world for his entire life, but he knew evil when he saw it. He knew he had to stop his father, so he confronted Shang-Tzu. It took every ounce of energy and every bit of skill Shang-Chi could muster, but he stopped his father and put an end to the cruelty. Shang-Chi decided to travel to America. He didn't want to be like his father, so instead, he became a superhero. Shang-Chi joined the Avengers. Together, they fought evil threats that no single hero could defeat one. The people of San Francisco saw Shang-Chi as a humble clerk at the bakery, but there was much more to him than that. Shang-Chi had made it his life's mission to protect the world, and nothing would stop him from helping the people. They go to the Friendly Neighborhood Superhero.
They thought.
Friendly Neighborhood Superhero Peter Parker. Nah. I'm seeing. I cannot hold on to you for sure. I'm gonna bump your head down then. You better, moyok. Hey, don't do that. Friendly neighborhood superhero, boom! Peter Parker living in a house in Queens, New York with his Aunt May. Aunt May raised Peter as if he were her own son. He was very nurturing and made sure he had everything he needed. Before his Uncle Ben passed away, he told Peter he could become whoever he wanted to be, and he always remembered that with great power comes great responsibility. Peter went to Midtown High School and was very focused on getting good grades. He studied hard and got straight. As he loved to learn, science was Peter's favorite subject, and he was one of the smartest students in his class. He enjoyed performing science experiments and showing off his discoveries to his teacher. After school, Peter worked at the Daily Bugle as a photographer.
What's he doing?
This is his boss. He had a knack for taking pictures, that is, when his boss wasn't yelling at him for more shots of a certain red and blue clad superhero. J. Jonah Jameson Peter's boss was known for being tough as nails. He constantly wanted a picture of Spider-Man, but that was a bit of a problem. Peter had a secret he couldn't tell anyone. Not his Aunt May, and certainly not Jameson. He was Spider-Man. During a school field trip to a log, a radioactive spider bit Peter. All of a sudden, Peter found he could do extraordinary things like shoot spider webs. At first, he had trouble aiming the webs, but he used his knowledge of science to make special web shooters that gave him the control he needed. He kept practicing, and soon enough, he could direct the webs wherever he wanted. Knowing he had to keep his identity secret, Peter made himself a spider suit and a mask fit for a superhero. Now he could go into the city without anyone knowing it was him. He could stick to walls so he could travel about the streets to stay out of sight when he needed to. Eventually, with time and lots of practice, Peter learned how to master all of his skills. Besides web shootings and wall clinging, he also had a super strength. Their strength combined with Peter's courage and other powers gave him the ability to help those in trouble. He made it his mission to protect the people in his neighborhood. That's how he earned the nickname, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Peter also had the power of spider sense. A strong tingling sensation would alert him to bad guys and danger. There was one supervillain who was Spider-Man's greatest enemy. Yeah, of course. Venom could shift, use his suit to make special weapons and even mimic Spider-Man's abilities. With his super strength and menacing fangs, Venom was extremely dangerous, and he loved to wreak havoc in New York City. Spider-Man swung into the street and fired his webs to stop Venom. I'm going to take all of your powers, Venom snarled. Spider-Man knew Venom well and knew all of his weaknesses. He hated loud noises. Spider-Man blasted webs of several nearby cars, setting off loud, blaring car alarms. What was that, Venom? I can't hear you. Spider-Man smirked. Venom was caught completely off guard, giving Spider-Man just enough time to ensnare Venom in thick webbing. The life of a superhero kept the web slinger on his toes. Just days later, he surprised the looter as he was trying to rob a bank. Twip, twip! Spider-Man shoot a series of webs that pinned him down. Then Spider-Man safely returned the stolen money to the authorities. By the set, Spider-Man hoped day would come when the world would be free from criminals and villains. Until then, he swung through the city on patrol, ready for his spider sense to alert him to danger. proposed to jump in and help wherever he could. It wasn't easy leading a double life, but he knew he had been given his powers for a reason. As long as there were bad guys around, he had an important job to do. Peter Parker was Spider-Man. The end. That's the last story. Come on. We still have to do your homework. Write it.
Very last story.
Okay, after eat half first. Take a rest. I'm gonna take a rest. My voice is quite
Again?
tired.
After I do my homework, he'll play with me a little bit.
If we still have time, remember?
If we still have time, yes or no?
Yes.
If we still have time, yes
No.
or no?
Okay, wait a sec. Hanalay. Pwede. Titetalay.
I need to pick each other.
The end. I'm tired. I've got Hello guys. Hi. Thank you. Bye.